if you have a big objective, a big target, you can go to it, but you can work on it step by step, each day, mile by mile, meter by meter. And there is a problem with the environment, so we have to act. We build agroforestal system, so people on Treedom plant a tree and they follow a story, follow a project, and they get notified on how the project is going. When I began to work in Treedom, the objective was to make sure that the site was performing well for the business as usual operation. An application environment that was meant to work for only B2B. When you work with consumers, in Treedom's case, it's huge, the difference between other months and, for example, Christmas or Valentine's Day or Earth Day. Was this big growth in 2020. The site used to have some hundreds of people on it at the same time. In a year, it went to thousands. So in that period of time, we had to enhance everything.
This is very typical for a lot of startups, okay? The way you build stuff at the beginning is different from the building stuff at scale. They needed to move their backend to an architecture that can sustain significantly more traffic than what they were currently capable of, and at the same time develop an enormous list of features that was lagging behind.
When I called NearForm, first of all, we went through an architectural workshop. It was 3 days of analysis that was done. We were able together to define a target architecture. So there was this document. I always have it on my desk at home. I like to see what we did, because I'm very proud. And through the architectural workshop, we got a to-do list. Okay, path.
The first thing we delivered was this service called Backend for Frontend. We put this service on the front of the legacy system to allow the website to scale, essentially.
When we have this type of situation, when there is a problematic legacy system, we tend to, as I call it, create a dam around it so that it's contained and we can control how everybody interacts with the legacy system. We moved all the front-end apps, all the front-end work to this outer layer that could be actually deployed very quickly. It was built on Node and it can be rebuilt and redeployed multiple times a day. So before that, the previous system was deployed very rarely because it needed to be deployed overnight because it could not go down.
Before NearForm team joined us, the team was able to deliver once a week. We were thinking about innovation, we were thinking about improvements, but first of all, the first and main responsibility of IT, I believe, is to guarantee the operation. We're talking about a team that, of course, there are more people. It's not 4 or 5 like last year. We are 16 now. We're still growing, but we're talking about 6, 7, 8, 10 deploys per day in production environment.
A new architecture and new technologies like Node.js, Fastify, and also using other services from AWS, from the cloud. CloudFront we use for caching. And then we also moved the front-end application into the BFF service. That was a temporary solution, but at the time was a big change because in this way they separate the monolithic application that included backend, front-end, and everything. Splitting this also allowed them to also split the teams.
1 year ago, there was only one alpha environment, one production environment, no PR, no unit test, no integration test. People just pushed in production, no QA. When we go back and we see what we did last year to make sure that the site and all the company could keep it up, many times we were able to deliver impossible tasks, impossible projects, okay, because in the previous years, there was an impossible tag on it. But we pulled it off, and what was impossible became possible. The main page loading time was up to 8 seconds. We went down to 1.7. And the average speed of the site was above 20 seconds, and it went down to 5 or 6. Okay, so a huge leap in performance.
Now we have a very, very good infrastructure, federated GraphQL platform, a gateway that manages currently 6 nodes with an interesting microservice architecture in GraphQL that works like a charm.
So in NearForm, we do the different kind of projects. This project was what we called capability building. It means that we partner with the client. It's not just about delivering a product or a feature. It's also improving their team, improving their know-how, so that they can deliver faster and better software.
NearForm helped the team in 2 ways, both on a technical point of view, developing the new feature and helping us with something that could not be done last year, okay, at least. And furthermore, it was a job that was made together, and so it was meant to make people grow. Once NearForm will be over, will be gone, they will leave behind a trail of success, but a trail of knowledge. Now we are all committed. We know we deliver a lot. I could just show you what we did in last quarter. People are amazed in the company too of how many things we are doing, and I'm really, really proud of this team.